we also have a management with us, the management of CenturyPly boards. We have Keshav Bhajanka joining us to detail about their demand and a new product that they've launched. Remember, CenturyPly boards, along with a lot of these building product companies, have seen a big surge in the last 6 months. This stock itself is up over 70 odd percent. Keshav, thanks a lot for joining in. You know, we've seen you launch a couple of products. First, it was the antivirus ply board, and now it's the firefighting ply board. But that's as far as your business is concerned. Let's talk about the pie itself, demand. How has that been over the last few months? And more importantly, how is it now, given the fact that there are fresh restrictions and fresh cases?
With regards to new cases, it's a little too early for us to comment, because the lockdowns, they're still being formulated. But as of last quarter, the demand was extremely strong. I think there was a bounce back in the building material sector, unlike anything we could have expected. If you remember last year, we were hoping that, we would reach maybe 100% of Q4 last year in Q4 this year. But I think we have easily surpassed that. And the trend of demand until this latest outbreak or this latest phase where, there might be a few lockdowns in selected parts was very good. Now we'll have to play it by the ear and see how it goes going forward.
All right, interesting there. Yesterday there was a report coming in from one of the brokerages talking about the MDF sector as a whole, saying that there would be a fair amount of tailwinds because of the second wave as people are working from home, etc. Have you seen that impact? If you could give us a sense of what sort of utilization is the industry at, what's the supply, and what are the prices at right now?
I think the entire industry would be at 85% plus utilization levels. We are at 100% plus, and that's why we are going for a capital expansion. The tailwinds are very, very good for all our products, actually, whether it is MDF, plywood, laminates. For all of these products, you are seeing a surge in demand. The work from home concept or an increase in, home offices does not bode well only for MDF. It bodes well for particle board and plywood also. So I think all of these segments aren't going to be necessarily as badly hit as they were, in the last phase when there were lockdowns, etc. But yes, MDF should be able to benefit slightly more than other products in the basket.
Keshav, morning. This is Rima here. Morning. Just purely in the last 2 weeks, have you seen a slowdown in demand? What are the retail channel checks suggesting?
Not as of yet. They are maybe 10% lower, but that is expected because March is normally a big month for us. But as far as our current channel checks, there hasn't been too much of a disruption. In some markets like Maharashtra, yes, but in most markets, no.
All right. If you could tell us a little about, the industry as far as the imports are concerned, because a lot of them are expecting an anti-dumping duty or a countervailing duty coming in on thin MDFs and all MDF products. What's the MDF demand? How much of it is imported right now? And what's the price difference?
So the quantum of imports has shrunk drastically, and that is primarily due to the fact that shipping has been in turmoil. And so the container availability into India has been extremely poor. Having said that, imports are still close to 10% cheaper than domestic product. And going forward, if the anti-dumping duty is levied, we'd be pretty much at par.
Okay. Are you facing any issues with, laborers going back to their hometowns? Are your factories able to operate in this, last 1 month or so, given the rising COVID cases? Because we keep hearing of reports about how laborers and factory workers want to go back to their hometowns.
Fortunately, we have seen no such occurrences. All our factories are operating at close to optimum capacity, and we have not been disrupted as of now.
Okay, COVID second wave is not the only thing, you operate out of Kolkata. I mean, your head office is in Kolkata. There have been elections in 4 states right now. That usually is an impact on the labor that is available. Has that impacted demand or business?
To be honest, no, it has not impacted demand in any meaningful way. I think the only worry going forward is this, increase in COVID cases, which could put a dent in things. But other than that, I think all the signs are very bullish.
Right, and finally, before we let you go, your thoughts on the kind of growth that one can foresee in FY22 and the sustainable margins overall for the company?
Well, we are very bullish on FY22. As you had mentioned, we have launched a new product, which is Firewall Technology. So we believe it is a revolutionary product within the plywood ecospace. It makes our plywood have characteristics to withstand fire, unlike anything that the industry has seen. And by virtue of this, we are able to halt the spread of fire. We are able to reduce the quantum of toxic gases that are emitted from plywood in the case of a fire. And as you know, that is the primary cause of death due to asphyxiation. And most importantly, our plywood is going to self-extinguish the fire once the external source dies out or is removed. So I think considering this, in the largest segment in plywood, we are expecting a very strong growth during the course of the year. And on the margin front, as I've already told you, I think we are going to only improve margins from last year going forward.
Right, just a quick follow-up. Currently, you're not charging any extra for this fireproof product that you're selling right now. Are you looking at charging at some point going forward? Will that have a bearing on your cost if you do not charge people for more than what you are right now?
There is a cost that is involved in development of this technology, but considering the volumes that we are doing, it is going to have no meaningful impact, and we have absorbed the cost of the technology within our pricing. I do not think that going forward, we are going to need any price increases to offset the new technology being introduced. And at the same time, we should be able to protect margins.
Keshav, thanks a lot for joining in and giving us all those details. Too early to call whether there has been an impact on demand for the second wave because of the second wave of COVID or not. We will keep an eye out on this trend as it pans out, but sounding optimistic for this year. With that, with the news that the market's still holding with gains of almost 50-55 points off the highs of trade for the Nifty, but holding well in the green, we will hand it over to the team of Trading Hour, which comes up after a short break. Thank you so much for watching Chartbusters.